Hi students, Chapter 13, Customer Service in Retailing. Let's talk about customer service as it relates to the field of retailing. So when we're talking about customer service, we're thinking about something that can make or break a retailer, have an impact on image and equity, the value of the company. It also is something that in general, customers are willing to pay more to get. They want to have, we want to have as customers, all of us are customers also, we want to have really, really good customer service. The book talks about the targeted customer is always right. You've heard that expression, the customer is always right. Well, I think the textbook is correct. The targeted customer, the customer you want as the retailer, is the one that's always right. You don't need to satisfy everybody's needs and wants, but you want to satisfy the needs and wants of the ones that you've selected as the customers that are a good fit for you as a retailer. And developing that customer profile allows you to be able to understand who is that target customer that you want to have. What about undesirable customers? Well, an example of an undesirable customer would be somebody that only buys goods for a special event and then returns them after the event for a refund. My son was at a wedding, and the couple had gone and bought dinnerware at Target. And then after the wedding dinner and all that, I guess they washed it and then they brought it back. They returned it. Undesirable customers. Undesirable customers steal from you. The customer stealing from you is not always right. Okay. They cannot legally purchase the product or service. They go in and they try to buy alcohol from you and they're a minor. That sort of thing. Verbally or physically abuses the retailing staff. You don't need customers like that. They need to be shown the door. How do we identify and how do we segment or cut into little pieces, bite-sized chunks, the different types of customers maybe that we want to have? So I want to develop customer profiles, the types of customers. Customization, the right kind of ad for the right kind of person, the right kind of product for that right kind of person. I want to manage the expectations. If I'm a low-cost retailer, I'm not going to be able to sell people on the fact that I have this highly trained staff. It's just not going to happen because I don't train my staff in order to keep my costs low so that I can pass that on to customers. So the management of expectations is something that's done there. And sometimes they might want to get special perks, but maybe they only get special perks and they need to understand why that is. Customer perceptions. So there's these different gaps that are there. That's what influences the perception they have. I don't know what my customers expect. That's a gap. I should know what my customers expect. I think that they want to have this quality in this area, but that's not really what they're looking for. It's an assumption on my part as the retailer. That's a gap. It's a mistake I've made there. I expect a certain level of service from my staff, but if I'm not following up, I'm not observing, the actual service may be considerably lower, and that's going to create a gap or a problem there. And another thing, I may say my service is going to be delivered in a certain way, and I promise it in a certain way, but it's not delivered that way. And again, that's a gap that I want to have. Consumer perceptions fall into 5 main areas. First is reliability. They want to buy something that's reliable, not break down the first time you turn it on. They want assurance, some kind of assurance. If something goes wrong, you can always return it for 30 days or whatever. Tangibility, they like to be able to touch things. That's why it makes selling services difficult. One of the reasons is it's not tangible. People like to be able to hold things in their hands. Empathy, they like to have somebody that'll understand when there is a problem, or even when there's not, that they'll just try to understand what they're looking for. And responsiveness, that the retailer is going to say, or the person working for the retailer is going to say, okay, I see that's what you want. Let me try to help you with that. Goal of customer services. Examples of basic service offerings for retailers and e-tailers. So I want to have some convenience, good cyber location, convenient hours of operation, available product, not to wait weeks for it to show up. I might want to have an alternative. If I can't go to the store, I want to also have it online. I want it to be clean. Not such a big issue in certain parts of the world, but at least here in the United States, people want to be in a clean facility, generally speaking. They want to have things secure or private. You don't want your personal information out there. They don't want somebody stealing your credit card. Some examples from luxury or additional kind of services that we would be talking about. So adequately staffed. You don't have to stand around and wait for somebody to serve you. I was at a retail bank, earlier late last week, I should say, not early last week, late last week. And I felt like I was back in Canada, because in Canada, you always seem to be waiting in line at a bank if you go to the bank. And I was waiting there. I think there was 7 people, and there was 1 teller that were waiting in front of me. I don't know, I was okay. I didn't have a problem with that, but I could tell some of the other people. In fact, one guy just got up and left. He was getting very frustrated. Adequately staffed is not a good way of, not adequately staffed, I should say, is not a good way of serving your customers. Toll-free number. You don't have to pay for making a call. Gift wrapping, personalization, packaging, shipping, kiosks, bridal registry, valet parking, all those things would be examples of kind of exceeds expectations types of customer services. One of the things you need to be aware of that customer service has declined over the years at brick and mortar sites. Retailers is not necessarily the case. They have some key activities would be handling complaints, confirmation of orders, some kind of cyber relationship with customers. Those are things they think are important. This chart in the textbook, I think, is kind of neat. It shows the different service policies based on the product and based on the complexity of the product, I should say, and the price of the product. So you can kind of see, you can break it down into this matrix and be able to see what kind of policy. So if you're working in a certain place and it has high complexity products and high price products, they're going to want the highest level. On the other hand, if it's low price and low complexity, a lot of that's going to be self-serve. Customer focus. So very simple actions can have a lot of significance. Sometimes you'll have the salesperson or the waitress or the waiter say, "That's my pleasure to do that for you." Very nice. Just very simple. Tools to gather the information, how things are going, surveys. Bill Stuffer questionnaires. At the end, they have it right there with your check. What'd you think of this? What'd you think of that? Questionnaires accompany the warranty of the registration cards. You have to send that back. You might as well have a questionnaire in there as well. Shoppers panels. You bring these people in and ask them. Trade associations work together with the competitors to be able to figure these things out. Again, we can have top-down and bottom-up commitment to the best customer service. Train your staff. Reward your staff. When they do something like this and it's good, reward them. Get rid of employees that don't perform. Empower employees. Let them make decisions that serve the customers. One-to-one marketing. One-to-one marketing is a focus on increasing business from your current customers. Most important factors in this are customer communications, executive buy-in, maintaining a long-term focus. Customer service levels. Let's talk a little bit about that in conclusion. So I want there to be a match between what the customer expects and what the retailer expects. What are the expectations? What do I expect my staff to do? Is that the same as the customers expect my staff to do? I have to consider things like, what's the cost of providing this service to the benefits? What is the competition doing? What kind of characteristics do we have in a store? Can we, not do these? Is it too small to have these long lines? Can we not fit a kiosk in there, etc.? What's the income level of the target market? Higher income, they're going to expect more service.